Because the next school I'm about to announce, the noise that will come from Nairobi is going to deafen the country. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the Kenya High. I told you, right there. And by the way, the title sponsor, KFCB, the CEO himself, Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, MBS, the wife was in
Kenya High.
The Kenya High. Now, let me tell you, the CEO is not sharp the way he's looking because of him. It's because of her.
It's his wife. It is all her. All right, the Lamarians, give it up for Lamudiak Secondary School, Nakuru County.
RCA 2019, ladies and gentlemen, the finals. Let's make some noise for Bishop Gatimu, Bishop G. Ngandu Girls Secondary School, Nyeri County. Now, my name is Walter Mongare. I'm the Deputy Director for Youth Programs in the Office of the President. I will be co-hosting with the wonderful Talia. You can introduce yourself and tell us more about yourself and the things you've been doing so that we can also do that as a research paper, right?
My name is Talia Oyando. I am an Emmy Award-winning singer-songwriter. I am also a broadcaster.
Yeah. Carry on. Yeah, students, next year we will just use Talia as the subject of discussion, and so your presentations will be based on that. Ladies and gentlemen, our judges, our title sponsors, our guests who are here, we will be introducing the judges shortly. But round about now, we want to show you how lit it is with the Lamarians. Lamarians, please come here. Come here.
All right.
Come here. Lamarians.
DJ.
This is about the students, and so this is how we are lit from Nairobi Cinema, center of Nairobi, during the RCA 2019 finals.
Yes.
Lamarians and DJ Hum, drop it like it's hot.
All right, DJ, let's go. All right.
Go. DJ Hum, baby. Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Another man food is another man poison. Go. Yeah. Monkey no fine, but in my mind like I'm. Go. Oh yeah. Sure you want come calculate my money. Go. Oh yeah. You want to dance, so you want to shake, oh yeah. Who got the blessing, bless, oh yeah. Chop the rice and banana, oh yeah. I go do my go. Yeah, chop the way do one banga. Yeah, the party don't start to. Shall you go down for the matata? Slim daddy, I love my life. I love my life.
DJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wapi kelele, Liberians.
Liberians.
Now, let me tell you something. As we discussed these topics earlier on, before you joined us, before the viewers have joined us, there's a lot that has gone on. A lot of schools have done fantastic presentations. We had Lenana School earlier on. We had, which other school did the presentation? St. Bakita, Marymount Girls Secondary School. And so we will just be doing a short recap of what they have done and how, as we get ready for the finals, the final bunch of the students. But it's not just the boys who can dance, Dahlia.
We have some girls
and that's
too.
The girls who are
all right.
Rocking it. Where are the girls from? Which ones? Which ones? Atinini?
Kenya High.
I can hear you.
Kenya High.
Woo! Kenya
right,
High.
ladies.
You want to step forward?
Ladies, is it true that what a man can do, a woman can do better?
No, that's not true.
It is true, right?
That's a fallacy.
It is true.
Someone lied to them, but you can try and do what we do.
It's a woman's world.
It's allowed.
It's a woman's world.
It's allowed.
Ladies, are you ready to dance? Are you ready to dance? You have beautiful smiles. All right, DJ. All right, let's go.
Mr. Flavor for the dancer. Another one.
Hype man, half mine.
Baby Nayoka, I want to know what's up. You're on the party, man, number one in town.
Okay. Ladies, DJ, because we are going to have all the boys and girls up here dance, because this is all about having fun, but at the same time being educated and getting the information that we need.
Yes.
It's all about research, doing research that informs the decisions that shape the future of our young people.
Yes. All right, so we have our judges.
Before we go to the judges, we are not yet
You want
done
to dance
with
more?
the fun.
You
Hata
want to
wao tuna dance.
Miss Nilisha dance.
Yes, even judges mnakuja kudance mnafikiria nyinyi ndio mnajua kujaji tu. Jitayarisheni, we will judge you harshly.
Nasikia kuna mwingine hapo kwa CV yake kuna dancing.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it shortly. But roundabout now, we want also to recognize our other sponsor, Coca-Cola. Make some noise for Coca-Cola.
Thank you, Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Now you can see how. So where is Hype MC? Where is Hype?
Hype Press.
Hype says. Now, Hype says you're going to use these students up here as a sample.
All right.
For the research we are about to do. So we will impart the knowledge that you have through them, and then we'll spread the sample to be wider so that everybody else can be involved, so that the baseline can,
I get you. Please repeat in Swahili.
Walter,
All right.
are you going to join him?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anytime you're ready, DJ. But then a big shout out to the dancers, man. Let's appreciate them. These are amazing dancers. DJ, let's go. Hey, go. Okay, let's go.
DJ baby.
Godfather,
Go.
OG, man a half humble, man a bossy.
1, 2, 3, let's
so free. Bossy, house
Go.
coach G. My money so long,
You work.
me. It's looking at my kids.
go.
Bossy.
1, 2, 3, check.
Hey yo, Idris, tell them what they're gonna take the piss. When step out to that kind of
Go, go.
body comfortable, let me physically
I love you now. 1, 2, 3, check. Chopper. Go.
Shut down in the city with me back
Higher. 1. Kila mtu Willie Bones. Go.
Increase the sample up here.
Yeah.
So we just want to ask our CEO for KFCB to just increase the sample here. We also want to ask the MD for Ipsos to increase the sample here. And we also, instead of just calling names, you, all of you, please come. join us
All
up
right.
here. Yeah,
Let's appreciate them as they come. Let's appreciate them.
yeah. Sasa wewe waweke ile ngumu
Ile ngumu.
kwa
Hata kuna
sababu
jina ngumu.
wako kwa TV by the way, wako kwa TV.
DJ unajua Mbwayaga. Wangapi wanapenda Jabidi hapa ndani? Aya, karibu, just come closer. Yeah. Mtapanga line nyuma yangu. So, let me first teach you the dance. All of us together. Both hands up. And then tunaenda. 1 2 3 4. Alafu rudi tena. 1 2 3 4. Very simple, very simple. DJ, let's go. Both hands, both hands. 1 2 3, take it down. Higher, one more time. 1 2 3, chill. Nice, let's go. Chill it. Now I want some energy. Higher, chill it, go.
DJ baby.
Chill it. Go. Peleka chini. One more time, go. Chill it. Now do this way. Chill it. 1 2 3, chill it.
Wanna see how this works well when the code is open.
You're caught behind. Turn it. Skuma nyuma, skuma nyuma.
Now, everybody now. Everybody stand up now.
Go.
All do it together.
Kila mtu simama.
Turn up. 1
Kila mtu
2
simama.
3, jump.
Go.
Go. Let's go. Let's go. Nipatie moya guys. Peleka chini. Weka chini. Peleka chini. 1 2 3, let's go. Jump up. Jump up. Jump up. One more time, go. Hey. Hey. Wapi kelele. Weka hapa nyuma, wapa nyuma. Very simple. 1 2 3, jump. Go. Let me see you shoot. Go. Haya kando kando hivi. Very simple. Rahisi. Haya weka hivi, weka, let me see. 2 fingers in the sky. Kunja gumi to the side. Sio ngumu kwa side. Tusikwende tukislide. Go. Go. Go.
DJ baby.
Go. This.
All my people gotta go now.
Go. Hey. One more time. Higher. Go, go. Right. Turn it. 1 2. Let me see you.
While you're, thank you DJ. while we are upstanding, and because this party is not about to stop, we just want to ask, as we take a breather while we are standing, we'll ask our MD from Ipsos just to come and, share with us. Talia, if you can come and share thoughts with the MD. Let's talk about research clubs of Africa just shortly. Please come.
Thank you. Ask the questions, Talia. You're the interviewer here.
Maybe I could get one of the students, because I know the students are very eager to ask questions.
Brilliant.
I know it's not about me today. It's about the students, right? Do you have any student here who would like to ask a question?
And while they're preparing to ask the question, I think the MD will be, for those viewers of ours who are watching and who are joining us, it's important for them to know what is going on here, what is Research Club of Africa. And we know that we have more than 5,000 alumni. Can I hear some noise from the alumni in the house? Yeah, so maybe we can share more about that, and then the student can
Thank you
answer.
very much, Walter. I think Research Clubs of Africa is the corporate social responsibility initiative by Ipsos. Ipsos has gone to school, taken research. That's what Ipsos knows what to do well. We know how to do research well. So we've taken that initiative to school, and we are trying to inculcate research skill in our students. You can see them dancing, but we know too much work without time to play makes Jack and Jill dull girls and boys. So that's why you're seeing us dancing. We're trying to join them in. And where is Ipsos in all this? Ipsos believes that if we change our children's life when they're very, very young, then we'll be able to make a huge impact. We spend at least 1 hour every week as a corporate social responsibility thinking about research in schools. And we've partnered with my colleague, the CEO of KFCB, Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, who is very, very supportive, and I'm sure he'll want to add 1 or 2 things about what I'm saying. In a nutshell, that's what we're doing here today.
Dr. We've seen that the majority of the schools that have already presented, the discussion has been around the morals and this situation of young people actually coming up with. One school did a very serious presentation of what is going on in their school.
Lenana School.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely,
that was, yeah.
yes.
So maybe you want to share a few thoughts from there.
Actually, Walter, that's why we are here, and that's why we picked the partnership with the Ipsos, because when we realized that they had picked the subject or the topic of moral values, we were very impressed. We said this is at the heart of every challenge that we are facing as a country, whether you're talking about corruption, the breakdown of family, whether you're talking about crime, the senseless murders that we are seeing, the negative reporting that we are seeing. It all boils down to moral values. And what can we do together? And we are so happy that we are now working with the youth themselves. Yeah. Because I gave an analogy in the morning about the old man who was served a soup in a restaurant, and he was telling the waiter, taste the soup, and the waiter was totally not sure what he was being told to do. Mm-hmm. And when the guy insisted, the waiter asked, where is the spoon?
Okay.
She's the one who is supposed to have served the spoon with the soup. But you see, that's a disconnect we are getting. Last year, we had something from these young people that traded. I think you can be seated, guys. Let me and the MD just take 5 minutes and explain this. Please be seated, but we can remain with it. Last year, and I'm sure all of you saw on social media something that was posted by the young people that was going by the hashtag Ifikie Wazazi. Ifikie Wazazi, to us, was a message that there's something fundamentally wrong in the way we are communicating with the youth. We thought these issues about moral values, the teenage pregnancies, the banning of schools, the cheating in exams, all those things is because of a disconnect somewhere in terms of the way we are bringing up our children. Okay. And we said in terms of policy formulation, to address those challenges, we needed a renowned and respected, reputable organization like Ipsos to conduct empirical research, scientific research, and tell us how can we help the youth to address those challenges. And we are so happy to see the brilliant students from all the schools that are represented here talking about the research findings themselves, so that the students own the narrative about the issues that affect them as youth.
I know Talia has got a question to ask you, but just a quick one. I just want to ask you, Ezekiel, and the MD for Ipsos. What we've seen these young people presenting is actually research that can be used to influence policy. Is that the agenda? Is that what this is all about? Because we want to believe that it's them who know exactly what is happening and for them to help us to shape the policies.
Absolutely, and I can assure the students who are here, the teachers and the parents, our coming in as Kenya Film Classification Board is not in vain. It's not just about entertainment. It's also about to hear you out, to listen to you, to say it cannot be us versus the youth. You've seen I've been called the moral police because we are a bit strict about these issues because we believe you guys are what you consume. They say garbage in, garbage out. And if we allow the media to feed you with violent content, obscenity, vulgarity, and so on, you grow up thinking that's a way of life. So we came in to say, Ipsos, involve the young people. Let us know where the shoe is pinching. And when we get the results, we assure you, and that's why we are the representative of CS Magoa here. We have the Ministry of ICT, we have the Ministry of Gender, Public Service, Youth and Gender. All of us collaborating as government, we will take these findings and see how we can impact policy formulation to address the issues that you have raised. Yeah. So you have not wasted your time. You are speaking to us and we are listening.
Talia, you had something you wanted to share.
Yes, Daktari. We've seen cases on social media of students intoxicated, and they're freely posting it on their social media for everybody to see, and they think it's cool for them.
Absolutely,
you know,
yes.
it's cool. And even with the comments that you see, you'll see other students there commenting. For them, it's very cool.
Yes.
They have easy access to these, drugs and alcohol in their schools, and also easy access to social media also in their schools. So for them to be intoxicated in school and it gets to Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, what are we doing to stop that?
I think, first of all, Talia, I must say, we have a fundamental problem, the moral breakdown of our country. And let me confess, on behalf of the parents and the adults and the government, I believe we have failed to be role models for our children. We set the wrong example. And Agri said, Mange see, Mange do, and I'm not calling you Manges, but the thing is, we are a product of the environment we are brought up in. And if we are seeing the adults doing these things, or our kids are seeing the adults doing these things, and they are presented also in the media as the way of life, there is every possibility that they're going to imitate. It will take a very strong character, which I think what is this students is all about, to walk the straight and the narrow in an environment where you are pushed to the conventional way of anything goes, where obscenity is meant to look like the way of life. Talia, yourself, you are an artist. And we always say it doesn't have to be dirty to sell.
True.
But look, a lot of music on our TV, it is dirty, it's obscene, and that's what we are bombarded with every day. So they watch that, they see it. And therefore, unless we start a conversation and say, yes, evil exists in the world, but it's not the way of life. However, instead of pontificating to them, we want them to come up with solutions. We engage and find a formula or a solution to the challenges we are facing as a society. But I know, Agri, as the statistics, maybe if you don't mind.
Thank you very much, Bwana CEO. One thing I want to add on what he has said, before I give you the statistics, I'm known to tell a lot of stories. It's very, very critical that any time you think about something as an artist, you should think about your parent watching that. There was a famous artist, I won't mention name.
Just mention me.
A very famous, okay. The young people here will wonder whether I'm mad, but let me say it. There's an artist who was called Franco, Lombo Lonzo Makiadi. He composed a song, and the song was deemed to be vulgar. By the way, this idea of the youth and vulgarity did not start with you. Naitaisha na nyinyi. So we are trying to tell you that, Muzoe, that we need to guide you how it goes. So Franco composes a song, and it's very controversial in Kinshasa. And everybody in Kinshasa is like, this song is impossible. Then Franco, like all artists do, says, but what's wrong with that song? This is a very innocent song that should be played on national radio and every other media that we have. Then Mobutu, for all his faults, said, you think that song is very good? He said, yeah. So Mobutu picks Franco's mom and brings her in privacy without Franco being there and tells the old lady, can you listen to that song? Do you know, after listening to the song, the woman said what? Whoever composed such a vulgar and dirty song should not be living where people are. That is how Mobutu locked in Franco. And Franco left prison to sing that popular song, Kanita ya Biso, Mobutu.
You may want to ask your teachers for history and civics to tell you more about Franco and maybe include it in your studies. Before we conclude, you can share a bit of the statistics.
Yeah, so the moral of the story is you should be careful about what you say. Statistics, we know that there are so many counties in this country where teenage pregnancy is very high. A prevalence of 30% teenage pregnancy is very, very, very worrying. We also know that some of the people who are making our children pregnant, our own workers, casual laborers, and people we find there, is not the boda players as most people think. And why? Because we know our children are being cheated by small tokens, a phone, airtime, and all that. And we know also that these pregnancies start from the age of 9. You cannot believe, I'm sure most of you here are above 9, but people 9 years old. So I was asking a question. If a child of 9 years old is a mother, at 18 she's what? A grandmother, isn't it? If it's, in research or in economics, you say all factors holding what?
Constant.
So you have the mother at 9, grandmother at 18, 27 she's a what?
Great grandmother.
36 she's what?
Great grandmother.
How many years 36 and still planning? Bado hujaonekaniwa, unatafuta tu. That tells you that we are really killing our own society. And when that cycle starts, I want to tell you people, that cycle creates poverty. And that's how poverty gets in.
Just before, maybe this is for Daktari. Daktari, there's an aspect where, if you listen to much of these wonderful children of ours and students, much of what they're talking about, the ills in schools, and actually they're giving particular examples of those schools. So what is the intervention from a moral value perspective that you intend to, as you support Ipsos on this matter?
I think first of all is creating a national conversation that involves all the parties. We cannot choose for them without them getting involved. I think the best way to get commitment is to involve people in an issue. So one, we are working with the youth. We are creating a national conversation. We are doing public sensitization across the country, and we are partnering with the, organizations like Ipsos, with Google. If you see now, we are trying to reverse the dark side of the internet, the wave of moral decay, the insults on the internet, by telling our guys, young people, that we can reward you for posting positive messages on YouTube. You don't have to insult people to be popular or to attract attention. You don't have to do a song like Taka Taka or to insult to be controversial so that you can be noticed. And you don't have to demean women or insult elders or use social media so that you can look like a hero. There is no heroism in defiance. We who are on this side of the podium did not become who we are today. I'm not a CEO because of breaking school rules. I was a school captain and a CU chairman throughout my school.
Make some noise.
There is none of us here who is here because they were breaking school rules, insulting teachers, or using social media to insult their elders. So first of all, it comes back down to us as an individual. What do you want to do? Because I want to tell you, Walter, if these guys can postpone luxury and the pleasures of life for 4 years, the 4 years you are in school will determine your next 40.
Yep.
And so the misconception of wanting it now and here, you want sex now and here. Chill. There won't be sex until you are 50. In fact, let me tell you live on TV, the challenge will be, there will be so much of it. Please hold your horses. Right now, read. You need to read. And let me tell you, personal character and integrity has no substitute. Now, when you have character, it does not matter where you come from or who you are. Obama was a child of a single mother, struggled in life, became the president of the most powerful nation on earth. And when he wrote his first book, do you know what he called it? Despite the fact that the Kenyan father left him there, he called it Dreams from My Father. This is what it tells me, that you guys also owed the solution. So, one, to answer Talia, don't use social media to insult people. There is no heroism in defiance. Work hard and look for opportunities beyond the school, the book work. Because Talia here, does she look beautiful, by the way? She's bright, but I can tell you she's eating our music. The guys you are seeing here as judges, they are heroes of this country because they are benefiting from music. Across the world, if you talk about young people like Rihanna and our own Lupita Nyong'o, our own Victor Wanyama, they are using their talent to make money. Victor Wanyama is playing in the Premier League because they used their talent.
You
Use your talent
you guys
well,
know Victor?
and you'll go places.
You guys know Victor, right?
Oh, they know
Ezekiel,
Victor.
before you go, there are some students who are here earlier, and we want to ask them, Talia, it's about them, it's about the students.
Yes,
And
yes.
they set the conversation because it's their time, their turn, and their future. Where are those students who just
They're
wanted
right
to
here.
ask questions? They can come up
So you
here.
have some questions.
Yeah, yeah.
You introduce yourself, your school, and ask your question.
Okay.
Come closer, come closer. And you're on TV, you're looking smart. You can say hi to your parents, they're watching you.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Faith Melody Omo. I'm from Marymount Secondary School. And a question to the CEO of KFCB. So even though this... Okay.
Take your time.
Feel free. Take your time.
In fact, hata unaweza muuliza kwa Kiswahili. Ama kwa Kikamba. Ama Sheng.
I'll get it.
Yeah. Go ahead, go.
Guidance and counseling department is in every school indeed. But how sure are you that, as the government, that they are effective? Because I'll take for example, in my school, we have a guidance and counseling box where you air out your issues. But since I came in Form 1, right now I'm in Form 4, that box has never been opened.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Write a message there. Guilty as charged. Thank you.
Mpige makofi.
You said your name is who?
Faith Melody.
Faith Melody. Faith, sometimes we get it wrong. And I told you, we want to admit as parents, sometimes we are not as responsive as we ought to be, even as government. And that's why we are starting this conversation, so that we don't have a place where you place or you throw your suggestions and your complaints, and it's never opened for a year. By the way, that epitomizes the relationship we have with our children, that we don't talk. We are saying, please let us talk. But it takes two to tango. You know, talk to us and have the courage, the way you are doing it through research, to talk to your parents and express yourself. I think one of the things that the Research Clubs of Africa is doing is to give you the skills to be able to express yourself. Don't fear. So if your parents are not listening to you, have the courtesy to express yourself in a polite, decent manner, and we'll listen to you. It's unfortunate. So if there's a school, which school is this?
Marymount.
Yeah, and nothing shall be used against anyone that speaks here. We'll just go and check and ask the administration, and we can work together. Because ideally, what Melody wants is, she puts a suggestion there, and we pick our thoughts, and then we respond. But when we don't respond, then there is a bottling up, and it's a bottling up that leads to other issues. I want to tell you that's a challenge that we take very positively. And like I said, on behalf of the parents and their daughters and the government, we want to listen to you, and something will be done.
Thank you very much.
We have another. Oh, you want to share
Yes,
your thoughts as we get ready for London?
I think the question Melody has asked challenges us as researchers, and for research, it raises a serious research question. Do we have the efficacy of the school feedback mechanism? How do students feed back to the administration without fear of victimization? And I think sitting from here or listening from what she's asking, then it means that feedback mechanism is not working. And we need Monica to go back to Bwana CS with the challenge, because he wanted to know how. You need to take it back to him and say, this does not work. And we need to find further, why isn't it working? Why aren't we getting feedback? Why has Melody been putting her complaints, just using Melody figuratively? And she's now in Form 4. Those are 48 months later, and nothing has happened.
I can tell you, MD, it is not just the students and the school environment. Even us who are CEOs, it's a challenge to us that we listen also to the people we work with. It's a challenge to the parents that we listen to our kids. It's a challenge to the government that we listen to the citizenry. We must change the way we have lived our lives. So what we are saying is the moral breakdown is as a result of this disconnect. And that's why I gave the example in the morning of the waiter who served the soup, and the customer is saying, taste the soup. And then she throws up and, she's in a fit of rage. She's saying, where is the spoon? Who was supposed to give the spoon? I know the reaction of most young people today is as a result of feeling we are not listening. But you guys who have come here, be the ambassadors to say, even though the environment may not be as good as we want it to be, we have the courage to talk. And like I've told you, if we were to give you our personal stories, all of us, we had similar challenges with our parents, but we found a way. It's about navigating life, and that's what research that's what research does, to give you a way of navigating through a problem and finding a solution. Thank you for speaking out. Please appreciate Melody. I think
Round
that was
of
brilliant.
applause. Before I hand over the mic to Alila, I just wanted to add on to the issue that she had. When I was in high school, I also went through, I went through a lot of issues in high school. It got to a time when I gave up. I did not want to go to school. But I had one teacher who I saw, who actually works for KFCB right now. She was my teacher, Nelly Muluka. Yes, so she was that teacher who came and held my hand, and I was able to talk to her, to reach out to her and tell about my problems. When yesterday she told me, I remember you coming to me and crying, and I'm so happy to see you here. So, when you have issues like that as students, go and talk. You can also go directly to a teacher, go and talk directly to a teacher, even if it's in private, and have private conversations. When you see this is not happening, as you have been there for 4 years and it hasn't been open, but you still have issues and they're building up, and they're building up not just for you, but for everybody else, go and talk to a teacher, go and talk to the head of the school, go and talk to someone, but don't just let everything get bottled in, because it affects you later on in the future. So I'd like to appreciate Nelly Muluka.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Nelly is our corporate communications manager. Is she around?
She's around, sir.
Yeah, I know she's
the young
taking
lady
a,
has
she
a
has,
question.
she has a flight.
Yeah.
And in case she has to leave, she's free to leave. So we can listen to her.
Alila, you have a question?
Thank you so much. My question is quite related. Thank you so much for offering such platforms for us to air out our views and even suggest solutions. But my main question is, will these solutions be implemented? I need an assurance from you, Daktari. Will you actually implement this? Or because if nothing will be done about this, it will all remain rumors and hearsay. So I need an assurance.
Awesome. What is your name?
Alila Esther from Bahati Girls.
Alila.
Alila. Yes.
She's very famous in Bahati Girls. Bahati Girls, make some noise.
Alila.
Nah, I told you that.
Alila, I want to give you the commitment of the Kenya Film Classification Board, the government of Kenya, that this will be implemented. The reason why we are partnering with Ipsos, and you saw a lot of ministries represented here. We're in the Ministry of Youth, Public Service and Gender as well. We're in the Ministry of Education, and the CS himself, and a representative here. And after this, we are going to do a review. We are taking your concerns forward, and we want to follow it up. And if you know the CS for Education, Professor Magoa, is a doer. That I think you must have faith that something will be done, and I want to give you our personal commitment. Hold us to account. I want to give your teacher, if you have a teacher here, a commitment, and we can interact later, and you ask us what became of the findings of the 2019 RCA. By next year, by the time we get to the next topic, we must have found a solution about the issues that you have raised.
Okay.
Thank you,
One
Daktari.
last question.
One last question from
gentleman
Lenana School.
Yeah.
Good afternoon to all. I was asking if...
Kula mic.
Okay. I was asking Mr. Ezekiel Mutua if there is any mechanism of filtering out harsh content from materials before it comes to the public, because most of the materials that you have identified as explicit, first they went viral, get known, then public outrage, then later. Why can't you do it before these things get there? Because by banning them, I don't think if it erases them from our memory. We should try to prevent it more than cure it.
Absolutely. But allow me to say we are living in the era of technology. The challenges are a bit more complicated, not just for Kenya. I think we are living in the era of fake news. Even President Trump is complaining about fake news. I think the world is bombarded by the negative effects of technology. It's a double-edged sword. And what we are doing in Kenya, because we have been rated the best country in terms of ICT, we are the best in terms of high-speed internet. We were just celebrating one of the icons of telecoms in this continent and the world, Bob Collymore, this week. And Kenya has made strides in terms of technology. So what we are dealing with actually are side effects of success. In other words, technology is so available and so versatile in this country that it has infiltrated even the young people, because a lot of parents are providing gadgets for their children without sufficient information on the dark side of technology. So what we are doing is to raise public awareness among parents and among the youth to know that technology is not for pornography, is not for bad things, it's not for insulting people. The internet was not created for hate. Internet was created as an enabler of faster delivery of service, connection, knowledge, information. And so we can use it positively. And so the choice is also for all of us as individuals to choose evil or good. And if I was asked, I would tell you, go for good, because evil will never win over good.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, let us appreciate Daktari. Mpigieni makofi ya kilo tafadhali. And now, before we introduce the judges, we just want to let you know that it's not only, Ezekiel is not waiting for the content to be slashed, but he is investing in your content at the beginning.
But it's something, water. I think CS Magoa and CS Musheru, I have seen, and you can Google, it's available on the internet. They have said we are looking into the possibility of closing some sites. And that has been raised also today. And I want to say one of the resolutions we are making out of Nairobi Cinema RCA 2019 is that we are looking at the possibility, because other countries have done it, to see how we can block pornographic sites and ensure that children do not access material that will impair their moral judgment. I think it can be done. And I want to thank the ICT minister, because he was very firm, and you can see his commitment on YouTube, and so is CS Magoa. I think collaboration between various government agencies will ensure that our children are protected from exposure to harmful content.
Thank you very much, Ezekiel. We just want to appreciate the principal Lenana School, Banakemei. Asante sana, mpigieni makofi. We also want to appreciate Neema Wamai, who is the media director, Ipsos. We appreciate you. And we appreciate my brother, David Somas from Kisii. Sorry, he's the chief commercial officer, Ipsos. I was just joking, okay? He's from Kakamega. Thank you. David, we appreciate you. And we can allow you to, take your seats. Oh, before you go, this student seems to have been inspired. Yeah?
Yeah, this one we have to address. She looks serious.
Okay, Sheila, as I've said earlier. So my question is, so we have, there's so many issues in the youth. So for example, in our class, we talk of a lot of things. We tell the teacher we complain of a lot of things. Then the teacher says all the time that, I know you have issues, but there is no way we can bring forward to the people. So you were asking, so how can we show you, how can we tell you the problems that are hidden among the youth?
All right, thank you very much. Maybe Ezekiel, you can quickly take that before we bring the next team, so that at least the viewers at home can be able to catch the action from
the underlying message throughout today has been, let us talk to each other. You are our children. We love you. Talk to us. Sometimes we also go through a lot of pressure. By the way, you need to understand your teachers and parents. We mean well, but sometimes we get challenged, Sheila. It's not easy. Even for the parents, for mom and dad to put food on the table, for the teachers to train you and to pay the price they pay. Let us just know that we also have a responsibility. J.F. Kennedy once said, do not ask what America can do for you, rather ask what you can do for America. And I want to take the challenge to you, to tell you that you can do something yourself, but insist, be persistent. When you don't get answers and you believe you deserve them, be polite enough but persistent to get answers from the people who ought to give you answers for the questions you have.
Thank you very much. We will have this conversation. We'll continue to have this conversation as we allow our seniors to go and take their seats. Wapigieni makofi. And by the way, the CEO has quoted J.F. Kennedy once said, Talia, I also want to quote Onsongo Matundura. You don't know who that is? Onsongo Matundura was I'm just, don't take me serious. Ladies and gentlemen, before we allow these young people to sit down for us to get one presentation, we would like to introduce the judges. Because at the end of the day today, there must be a measure of how your performance was. Talia, you want to go first?
Yes, please. We have Samuel Mudhoka. Please stand up. He is the county president of Ipsos in Tanzania. He's worked in the market and social research industry for the last 15 years.
Mpigeni makofi tafadhali. We want to introduce Judge Gavala Douglas, who is a strategy and research head of department, Africa for Delight. Please stand up, sir. That is Gavala Douglas for you.
Next, we have Cyril Oyuga. He is the Deputy Director, Research and Knowledge at the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. He has been a part of the RCA judges panel since the year 2013.
We have one of her kind. She is a holder of a Master in Laws degree in Intellectual Property. Intellectual property is Talia and I. That is intellectual property, just in case you need definition. Angela Ndambuki. We appreciate you, Angela. And she's currently the vice chairperson of the Kenya Association of Music Producers, the collective management organization that administers copyright and related rights on behalf of producers.
Next up, we have Ms. Maureen Chepkoech Mutai. She is the Kenya Youth Representative to the 73rd United Nations General Assembly and among the global youth delegates who participated in the 2030 UN Youth Strategy. She also forms a part of the advisory team on youth matters to His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the global champion for the Youth People's Agenda through the youth programs and liaison office at the presidency.
So for those of us who are asking whether the president is watching, the president is watching, you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, and finally, we will introduce the chief judge himself, Judge Edward Ihaji. Okay, and he will be assisted because at the end of the day, what the judges do is they listen to your presentations within 15 minutes. And when you're done with your 15 minutes, they give you a score and the chief judge will collect the scores. But they will be assisted by Geoffrey Obocha, who is the returning officer. Geoffrey, where's Geoffrey? We may want to appreciate Geoffrey. So before we sit down and get on to the first presentation, we would like the young people who have been standing here to loosen up a bit. Then we can drop them down there. They do the listening. Where is Hype Man?
He's
Where is
right
the Hype
here.
Man? All right.
He's right here.
Now do this for us, okay?
Right. DJ, anytime. You can come near. Just come near. Wale madansa wangu wale. Just come here. Yeah. So you're also gonna lead us. DJ, stamp it. Chule. Some Afro music. Chule. Go. Zanku. Go. Haya. Ongeza. 1, 2, 3, go. Chule. Gwada. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Ngoja tuonyeshe ile aibu. Ile aibu. Sorry. Hype says, ladies and gentlemen, for the reason why we're here, we now introduce the next school that is going to do their 15 minutes presentation. And the judges, whenever you're ready, we are asking St. Augustine Mwea Boys Secondary School from Kirinyaga County to take the stage because the time is now. And we want to thank you for those of us who've been watching us live on NTV. Continue the conversation, and we thank you that you have tuned in and you're watching this. This is RCA 2019 finals.
St. Augustine Mwea Boys Secondary School, Kirinyaga County, the stage is yours. Students, are you ready?
The judges are ready. St. Augustine Mwea Boys Secondary School, Kirinyaga County, your 15 minutes starts now.
The chief guest of the day, P.S. Alfred, all the invited senior state officers, the panel of judges, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. Under the theme of the year moral values, Anthony Joyce, my name, from St. Augustine Mwea Boys High School, Research Club of Africa, ready to take you through the topic on effects of responsibility as a moral value in a student's life. And with me is
Mark Weru,
Newton Kariuki.
And onto our table of contents, where we have 1, acknowledgement, 2, background of the study, 3, hypotheses, 4, objectives, 5, methodology, 6, findings, 7, verbatims, 8, relevance of the study, and 9, conclusion, 10, recommendation. We will do it in a special way to acknowledge the following. To our Almighty God, we thank Him for giving us the grace, the physical and the mental support we need to come up to the completion of this research project. Of course, to our principal, Mr. John Moai, we are more than grateful for his moral and financial support towards our research journey. And to the Research Club of Africa, we do thank you all for giving us the opportunity to present what we have to you. To our patrons, of course, Madam Margaret Denderu and Mr. Abraham Mwenda, we are more than grateful for your support also. And to all the people who have made the research a success, thank you all and God bless you. Responsibility, an umbrella of moral fabric in the society. Background of the study. We, as the Research Club of Africa, St. Augustine Mwea Boys High School, identified responsibility as a very important factor in the basis of our research. Student responsibility occurs when they take an active role in learning and recognizing they are accountable for their academic success. Hypothesis. Student irresponsibility affects school academic performance. Our main objectives were 1, to establish the society expectation on responsibility of students. 2, to investigate the worrying areas, the worrying trends in terms of irresponsibility. 3, to identify the qualities of high responsible students. And 4, to establish if there are benefits of responsible culture in a school. And to our methodology, we used content analysis and quantitative analysis. In content analysis, we used desk research to understand ways in which responsible culture can be nurtured in school. And in quantitative analysis, we had 56 respondents. 6 of them were teachers, 3 non-teaching staffs, 3 parents, and 44 students. Our literature review. responsibility refers to the duties of the living towards God. A just society is one where is one where peace and harmony, and also people are governed by moral values and rule of law. A model student takes responsibility and seeks ways of improving themselves by avoiding shortcuts and giving irrelevant excuses for their failures. Our findings. 1. Most of responsible students perform exemplary well in academics. 2. Responsible students help in the smooth running of the school. 3. Responsible students act as role models and also act as future leaders in the society. And 4, irresponsible students waste their time in school and they don't use their time well. And also 5, irresponsible students do not associate well or rather relate well with each other, thus being a hindrance in the smooth running of the school.
So, on to our first question. What is the society's expectation on responsibility of students? So, we had 36% of our participants saying that responsible students should be disciplined and behave well. We had 10% of our participants saying that responsible students should be able to properly manage their time. Okay, on the picture, we can see St. Augustine Moya Boys Peace Club members planting trees. So, these students show proper time management. Okay, we had 35% of our participants saying that responsible students should be good performers in their academics. And lastly, we had 19% saying that responsible students should act as the perfect role models and other students should look up to them. So, the next question. What are the characteristics of responsible students? So, we had 31% of our participants saying that responsible students are disciplined and their behaviors are satisfactory. We had 22% saying that responsible students work hard and do their best in any duty that is entrusted to them. We then had 19% saying that responsible students are morally upright and should have good moral values like love, kindness, and obedience. Then we had 16% of our participants saying that other students look up to responsible students as they act as good role models. Okay, on the picture, we can see Kirinyaga County delegates during the 10th biannual High School Leaders Conference, which was held at Nakuru High School from 8th to 12th April 2019. So among these delegates were St. Augustine Moya Boys delegates who represented the school in the national level. So these students acted as good role models. Then we had 12% of our participants saying that responsible students manage their resources, whether few or plenty, in a responsible manner. These resources include pocket money given to them by their parents, school lab equipment, school books, etc. Okay. On to our next question. What is the effect of student responsibility on academic performance? So we had 62% of our participants saying that responsible students become good performers. Then we had 9% of our participants saying that most responsible students assist in the smooth running of the school where there are no indiscipline cases involved. Then we had 14% saying that responsible students are able to perfectly manage the resources at their disposal. Then we had 11% saying that responsible students exercise their bodies, maintaining physical fitness, which in turn leads to freshening and rejuvenating of their brain, hence understanding more academically. Then we had 4% of our participants saying that responsible students are able to relate well with other students. So, on to our next question. What are the areas where irresponsibility among the students is worrying? We had 46% of our participants saying that indiscipline is one major area where irresponsibility is worrying. Okay, for example, is using drugs, sneaking out of school, and other indiscipline cases. So on the photo, we can see shock as 35 school students were nabbed with drinks, drugs, and snuff on 5th August 2019. So these students clearly show indiscipline as an area where irresponsibility is worrying. Then we had 18% of our participants saying that time wastage is also a very crucial area in irresponsibility, where students, for example, sleep in class and make noise. Then we had 27% saying that irresponsibility is also reflected on academics, where these irresponsible students perform very poorly.